GM. Welcome to another Touchgrass podcast episode. Today we're going to talk about the world of robotics. We have Mo from Codec. How's it been, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. I've just been seeing you guys all over crypto Twitter. You know, robotics. We've seen the AI trend earlier. Now we're seeing sort of a mix of AI and robotics come in. I see you guys sort of as one of the front runners in this entire space. You know, tell me, start us off. Like, tell us the story behind Codec. Like, when did this start? Like, how did you get involved? What's like the story here?
Yeah, so I would say we started. We can say it was a year ago right now, because I started on Codec itself, officially Codec with a name, around August last year. The main reason for it and the main need that I tried to solve with Codec was that I was involved in a lot of small robotic discords at the time. The main one was Hugging Face Robot Discord, and my co-founder is part of the contributor to the Robot. So me helping him solving a few issues here and there. It was mostly quality of life issues that they were having while developing the robotic products. Correct. So seeing these people that are seasoned in robotic development and electronic and hardware, and they have these basic issues that I can solve even with the tech that I know, with the knowledge that I have. So that's what started Codec, basically, is to try to solve these problems for robotic developers.
And how's reception been since you launched?
It's pretty good. Most of the Codec code and Codec SDKs and the path that we're leaning towards is shaped by these developers, by developers that are working day and night on robotics, building robotics. So everything that I build is always, I send it to them, test, get back the feedback, get back the hate, and then refix it and then work on it again and again. So it's been like working for them, basically, and trying to shape this framework and SDK towards them.
Yeah. How's, obviously I've seen you do a lot of spaces. I think this is your first time doing like an IRL sort of camera pod. How's it been, on crypto Twitter? Do you think Codec's found a core community yet? How's reception been for you guys on crypto Twitter so far?
I think we have a very strong and lovely community. I appreciate all of the support they're giving us, and I don't think we would be where we are without all of the community that we have right now. And I think that's also a unique part of Codec itself. It's the community that is shaping it and it's building with it. So I'm very appreciative for that, and I'm stunned by it too. I was not expect all of this, but yeah.
Yeah, sort of the first time I saw Codec on the timeline was when Theo Dotweiler started talking about it.
Yes.
Was that like planned? Is he like part of the team? Like what's going on there? Like I've just been seeing him go on and on about all of this. How did he get involved?
So going back when I was mentioning the start of Codec, there was two paths for us to take. We either go VC funding, because we figure out that we have a problem that we can solve and there are people that are willing to pay for it. So the next step is like, how can we build this? And we need funding to build this. There was a way we can go with the VC route, and then there is a way we can test, which was a bit risky at that time. Even the ICM meta was not there back then. So we decided to go with the token route for mainly two reasons. One is that chasing VCs and trying to convince them with something that is not trending at the moment is going to be hard. And the second part is that having a token will allow us to build a community and allow us to build marketing through the token itself. So those are the main things. And we did have anticipation for things to include tokens in it and tokenomics and a flywheel. So it was weighing more towards the token side. But even with that, it was not tested. There is a lot of vaporware, there is a lot of things like that. So our goal was like, we will launch a token. If people like what we're doing, they can support it. If they don't like, they can exit. It's a completely liquid token. So with that, we launched the token. We started pushing spaces, like just us, the team on X, and Ditweiler happened to find us very early. I don't know him personally. I'm not very much deep into CT. But some of the team members are very, they're traders and they know all of this stuff. So they will say, this guy is very good, you should get in touch with him. And then we met him in person here in Token 2049. And from there it started. So it was not planned. It was just spontaneous. We got connected through this. He had, I guess, an eye for the project. He knew what he was looking for, and he liked the team, and from there it grew.
Yeah, I think Theo's sort of one of those personalities on crypto Twitter where he will not know the team. Like a lot of people love to bid tickers and work with projects that they know personally. Theo's the kind of guy who will do his due diligence online and then start bidding, and then he'll start talking about it, and then the team's like, oh my God, Theo's talking about us. Theo, let's please talk.
Yes. That's exactly what happened. Yes,
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's a good thing for me, knowing that, okay, this is, again, I don't know much about CT, but then I understood that this is a big guy in CT, and also I was like, okay, now we have to not disappoint him. We have to build and make sure that he's proud, or like he made the right bet. So it was proven to him, and then proven to all of the community that what we're doing is legit, and we're building something that is useful for users, for developers, and for builders.
Yeah, like Mo, I'll tell you, I used to do KOL marketing at a marketing agency before this. One of the hardest things for any project to do is onboard someone of influence to talk about their project in a positive light. The fact that Theo is doing that right now is like tremendous, enormous.
Yeah.
And I would assume that's sort of given a lot of visibility to you guys. I've also obviously talked about the robotic space with Theo off camera, and he has his own thesis of how the space is sort of conforming. The way that he told me about it was, if you look at how the AI meta happened in crypto, there were a lot of leading indicators towards that. Like Web2 was interested in AI. It was inevitable that the AI boom would happen within crypto for however long it happened. With the robotics, he was telling me about Andrew Kang's fund that's coming up. He was telling me about 2-3 different things. What do you, I want to hear directly from you guys. Like, what do you think is like the AI, robotics X crypto thesis in general? Like if you had to describe it to someone who's very new to this thesis.
I would say before robotic X crypto, it's robotic X AI. That's the thesis that was shaping up since 2024. By the end of 2024, we had very good. We're still not in that stage where agents are very reliable and good, but we had very good agents, and we proved that agent can automate work that is on the screen, basically digital work. And it was the natural transition from that is that, okay, agent is now working on my computer. What can we do with an agent that can control a machine? And we have the proof of that working on cars, for example. Now, what can we do with it that is more? All of Web 2 has been slowly moving toward that, trying to put this intelligence that we got with agent into the physical world to basically improve the quality of life more. If you compare what the amount of research papers coming out that year regarding robotics, and you compare it to what we have today, it's at least 100 times, 100x more papers coming out these days regarding robotic. Every paper is what can we do with the robotic, how to improve motion translation, how to improve the robotic reasoning, how to improve all of these things. So you can see how much investment in terms of time and knowledge Web2 is putting into this. And the same thing was happening late 23 regarding the agent. And then in 24, we started seeing that in crypto. Now, where does robotic goes or comes into crypto is the main growth that was for AI agent and AI and LLMs, basically. It was the data that was available online. We had already decades put in data online, website, content, blogs, and all of that, Reddit posts, and all of these things. All of that was used to create these LLMs, to train them and teach them, and we have the agent that we have in right now. The problem is, for physical worlds, we don't have that much data. We don't have it. No one was collecting or putting these data out there. and users are now like, I'm not going to give this data for free. So this is exactly where crypto comes in. First, there is the incentive you can give to users to hand over their data regarding GPS, location.
This is like in the Apple phone when it's like, do you want to share your data? Ask app not to track. Is that what you're talking about? Is that?
I hope they're not. I hope
Yeah.
they are not doing that
Okay,
with
okay,
it.
okay.
But yes, that can go to there. But mostly it's gonna be specific devices, special devices, either glasses or even with your phone that you can do quests to collect some data and earn from it. The reason is that we need this much data to train these robots. It's not gonna be enough. Even the data that is online right now for LLMs is not enough to teach LLMs to the next level. It's already plateaued. So with the robotic, so the main incentive is giving incentive to user for data, and also the logistics of handling all of this data. You don't need just in your location, you're gonna need global access to data from everywhere. And what is providing all of that is basically the blockchain. All of the blockchains are able to provide that. So this is where I see the cross between crypto, AI, and robotics.
Is that sort of the first version of Codec? Did that start within that intersection, would you say?
Our first version, and even what we're doing right now, is like we can collect data. We can be a protocol that collecting data, or we can be a way to provide pipelines for collecting the data. So we also believe that it's not going to be one centralized party or one protocol collecting data. It's going to be multiple protocols collecting data. And our job is to provide the tools and the pipelines for collecting the right data. So in for example, what we have in SDK is that pipelines for collecting video data and processing it. Pipelines for collecting motion data and teleoperation data and processing it. So the idea using this is that someone can just create a smaller scale app for data collection that fits their own hardware, that fits what they need basically to build. So with Codec is aiming to be basically providing these pipelines, and users are able to build on top of them and use them to collect data.
Is that how the marketplace with the operators work as well?
Correct. That's one of the aspects of the marketplace. So it's data pipelines and also agentics pipelines.
Can you walk us through how these AI workers are basically launched? And like how this would be a great clip for any dev listening. Like how can a dev build their own operator? And I've been reading into it. You can also do it without coding skills, essentially.
Yes. So what we're trying to do again with Codec, if you go right now and try to build, let's say, a video processing pipeline that you want to take the video, process it, and then teach the robot to dance, for example, right? There are multiple models. There are multiple methods of doing that. And each one of them will require separate development, basically. Someone will have to come and do custom development to integrate that algorithm or to integrate that paper implementation. So what Codec is trying to do is basically have a layer of abstraction. So you can come and plug these models, these new algorithm, basically plug and play. That's our goal. Once we reach that point with code, on top of that, we'll be having a node code editor. So users are able to literally drag and drop these nodes. So I can grab the algorithm for video processing and motion extraction and connect it to the robot directly. And then the processing is happening, and then the robot is able to take the video, extract motion, and have the robot executing that motion, for example. So this is how even someone without code can build these things. The reason for this is that the robot is not about coding it, it's about teaching it skills. And usually who knows the skill is not the coder or the person developing. It's someone with an experience in that field. Again, I'm going back to the dancing example.
Yeah.
it's not the coder that knows how to dance, it's the dancer, and the dancer doesn't care about coding. He just okay, this is what I know, this is what I want to teach my robot. So that's the point of it. We don't need the coder to code these models or things like that. They can spend the time on research and development of this algorithm. The end user just need, okay, this is the tech, I can use it directly to teach my skill to this robot or teach my skill to this AI. That's the goal.
That makes sense. And then would you say, like in this dancing example, is the dancer directly interfacing with Codec in that example where they're able to access code from this sort of engineer? Or how would that relationship work in terms of the end user interfacing with the marketplace?
So for the end user, what they see directly is that basically once the no-code editor is live, a user will log in. They have their dashboard, and then they can choose launch a new operator. They press the launch button. Then they build their own operator. The way they build it is basically dragging and dropping these different types of algorithm and different types of sensors, different types of input that the robot is going to have. So you'll have the input on one side, then you have processing in the middle, and then the output is going to be what actions the robot is going to do. And that's how the flow they can build.
Got it.
And it's going to be no code needed, basically. It's the user, it's not zero skill level, but it's no code. So the user is able to drag and drop and connect these dots together.
That makes sense. Mo, do you talk to like the traditional world, like the traditional robotics world about what you guys are building? I'm very curious on how they perceive the crypto world and everything that you guys are doing.
There is a little bit of pushback from the traditional. I'm separating them Web 2, Web 3.
Yeah.
So Web 2 usually are sensitive about crypto, mostly because all they see is scams. Someone stole my money. Someone is just pumping their token and then dumping it. Which is understandable from their end. But when I start to talk to them, this is what we're building, this is the things that we are doing, they see the value of it and the utility of it. And it's easy for them to understand what we're doing because there are proven models that work doing similar thing for other types of AI. For example, Comfy UI, which is the go-to place to build basically on image generation, video generation. That's our goal, is to get there with robotic and automation.
Okay.
And people quickly get the picture, they quickly understand it, and they're like supportive for it very much. Yeah.
Got it. I want to take it on a different tangent. Would you say that robotics, like this robotics thesis that we're seeing that's planning out within like crypto circles, would you say it's like a subset of the broader deepen space, or would you say this is like totally separate?
No, I do agree it's part of the deepen and DAI integration between crypto and I think we are also reaching the point where there will be no separation. It's kind of almost blending in right now. Especially, for example, with the 402 protocol. There is the biggest thing for me about that is that how many Web 2 companies are adapting it. The biggest one being Cloudflare, completely adapting that. So basically that blurred the line between what's Web 3 and what's Web 2. And even with Deepin, I'm sure we'll see that that line being blurred. There is no difference to the end user. Even with the neobanking and all of this stuff coming out, for the end user, it becomes like, I don't even know if this is a bank or traditional or Web3, and they don't care about it. They just want to get the task done. They want to pay what they need to pay. They want to get the job done, and that's it. Yeah.
So for a layman who's just in the crypto space, they look at Deepin, they look at robotics. They're not really into either trench, right? Obviously, in the robotics space, Codec, they're your competitors, there are a lot that you respect. What's the similarity between you and your competitors in like the robotics thesis versus the broader Deepin space? Like, how would you explain it to someone like, okay, this is a core robotics protocol or project versus a Deepin project?
Okay, so for Codec, it's not trying to compete with a lot of the deep-in project. It's trying to integrate with them. We're trying to be a hub where a user that trying to build robotic services or robotic product, they can access all of the data from the other robotic protocols out there. So let's say a user wants to get data from over protocol. They can grab that data easily and integrate with it and build whatever they want to build with it. They don't have to go and create custom code to load that data and integrate with it. A user wants to deploy a robot that is running on peak, for example. They don't have to customize that integration and go separately build on that. They can do it all through the Codec platform. So our idea is not to compete with this, is try to pull them together so they are easier to access to the user. Some of our infra is deployed on things like Akash, for example. So a user is interacting with those deep-in protocols directly through Codec. Codec is not trying to compete or fight with those projects.
Got it. Okay. Well, I want to sort of go forward. You know, we talked a lot about the tech. We'll come back to the tech in a minute. I want to talk about this beautiful thing that's called internet capital markets. You know, as you said, when you guys were thinking about raising from VCs or doing a token, there was no internet capital markets. How has the meta evolved for you? Like, what is your understanding of what internet capital markets is and what it enables? And how, I would assume what you guys went through is a very similar variation of what internet capital markets is supposed to enable. How was your experience going through all of that?
Like I said, when we first started, we were not sure if this is the right way to do it or not. It was an experiment for us to see if this is going to work or not. I think 2 or 3 weeks after we launched, the Believe launch was there, and all of the ICM meta started to come out. But the response and the way things are going, I think this is the way project should be building in the future. There is no need for VC funding. There is, okay, that's maybe too bold to say, but I think there is a way to build without needing VC funding, basically. And this will go very well for people building projects that are interested, to communities, allowing the community to have a piece of what they are building, basically. So I very, what's the word to say? I'm very confident that this is going to be the way for people to build project and raise money.
You definitely recommend it to any other builder?
Yes, it depends on the scale of the project. It depends on the speed of the team, and it depends on... there are factors where maybe VC funding is better, but and also values of the team and all of that. But for me personally, I feel this is a very right way to do things. Like the benefit of that is this: basically, you start building a community from day zero.
Yes,
you'll have believers in your project. You have someone putting money into your project, so that means you have the responsibility of making these people. Keeping these people trust, basically.
Yes.
And that means you have to ship faster, you have to produce things faster, and you have to show output for users to keep the faith, keep believing in what you're doing. And that means you are developing the project faster. Another way for it, it's also, it's not a hate against other raising VCs project. It's just that I think when your project is tied to the price, it gives you that fuel and motivation that, okay, I need to keep pushing so I can keep my project up. It's not like if you see, okay, I got a check written, then it's okay. I don't. You get slack off, basically. So for me personally, I think it's a very good way for raising and making and doing funding for projects.
Got it. That makes sense. Do you have any advice? Like, what worked for you guys here? Like, is there certain things or experiences out of this whole sort of experience of doing internet capital markets? Is there something that you'd recommend? Like, okay, you know, you said ship fast, but is there like certain moments where you're like, okay, this is why made sense for us, for instance.
Okay, I this kind of goes counter to what I said earlier, but it still makes sense. You need to watch the token and at the same time not watch the token.
Okay.
For example, in our team, I don't watch the price and keep track of the chart, but I have the team members that are watching the chart, knowing who is selling, who is buying, and all of that. And they know when, okay, we should be pushing something or we should not be pushing something at this certain moment. And that helps us shape a roadmap that fits the narrative, fits the product, and all of that stuff. So I think once you launch a token and you know what you're doing and you're believing in it, I think you should not be paying too much attention to the price of the token. It's not that the token will go 10 million in one day. You have to prove that it's worth 10 million, or you have to prove it was 100 million or a billion. So you shouldn't be too tied to the price that you give up. Okay, my token, it didn't go to whatever range I wanted. I will throw this project away. I think that will be my advice for that.
Makes sense. It's like, don't let it become the feedback loop.
Yes. Okay. It's not the feedback loop. It's the motivation and showing people basically what we're building is worth it.
Got it. And why did you guys choose Solana? Mm-hmm. There are obviously infinitely different ecosystems. Mm-hmm. What attracted you guys towards building or utilizing Solana for the contract deployment?
Yeah, so I would say if you ask any layman out there what chains they know Bitcoin, they know Ethereum, maybe they know Base, Arbitrum, things like that. But you ask them, what chain are you using? It's Solana. The reason Solana is because it's the most retail friendly, basically. Users can access it with a very smooth experience, fast transaction, and that's why Solana was picked. Because one of our goals with Codec is as less friction as possible for the end user to start using the services. Because we don't expect just Web3 user, we're expecting Web2 users that if you start telling them you have to first approve and then wait transactions to finish, they will just leave at any moment. Yeah.
That's fair. I think one thing that a lot of people have been talking about on crypto Twitter, I saw Zero Knowledge's post the other day. He wrote a really great article on robotics, what you guys are doing. He spent a lot of time talking about the Codec token flywheel. What is the flywheel and how are you guys thinking about it?
Okay, so for Codec, what we're aiming for and what we're building toward is that it's a product that companies, Web2 people, normal developers are able to use directly without any friction. Those people are going to pay for the services that Codec provide, that include hosting, that include inference costs, and that include the model serving. All of that revenue basically going to be directed toward the token. It's not something. It's not something. Let's say it's exactly this is the amount and this is the what is going to be on the token, but this is going to be completely transparent. Basically, user can see how much revenue is being made and how much token is being bought back sorry, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So the core base for the flywheel is this basically is that whatever revenue the project is making is going to be funneled back into the token through buyback and other mechanism for supporting the token. The other part of this is that this is an open source project, and one way to build and increase the velocity of building is basically finding contributor and hiring contributors. And the best way to get best contributor is basically incentivize them with the right value, basically. So the token that being bought back is being given to users that are able to build and make meaningful contribution to the code, adding more integration, adding more plugins, and expanding basically the SDKs and the libraries we have. So when having revenue comes, we're buying back tokens, we're giving tokens to developers. Developers are building and expanding on the protocol and making the whole things bigger. And that's the idea, the basic idea for it. So one way I mentioned is basically targeted toward people using the B2B and things like that,
Yeah.
using the product. And another way is for users basically directly using the product for their own personal uses, building automations for them, building automating or customizing their own robots. All of that also going to be funneled back into the...
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. So what we covered so far is the story. We talked about crypto Twitter. We talked about Theo. We talked about, internet capital markets. We talked about Solana. We talked about robotics. I think your story is one that the internet capital markets sort of sector will look to in the future as someone who did it well, continue going. It's a highly ethical team that's just shipping continuously.
Yeah.
What's coming next? Give me as much alpha as you can. I know there are things that you obviously can't say.
Yeah.
There's obviously stuff that's, definitely in the roadmap that's still in the planning phase. What is coming next? Like, if you can tell me, like, next 3 months, 6 months, whatever you can share with the audience.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, right, the source of the flywheel and the source of the product being useful is having as many integration as possible with as different protocol as possible. So that's what we've been building toward the past 2 or 3 months, trying to connect and integrate with most of the robotic product that are out there. The idea is that it's a win-win situation, because those other protocols are going to be able to use their data. They will have customers using their data, and for us is that we have customers building on that data and building meaningful products. So some of the things we're working on is the marketplace, where users are able to build these automations and not just use them for themselves. They can also monetize it by selling it for other users to come and use it. Let's say, and
so they can create their own flywheel.
You can say that.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay.
So someone can just come in and create an operator that they can. It will be kind of a passive income. I don't like the word passive income, but it's kind of like that, because with these AI workers, basically you create the automation, and then someone likes what you've already built. They don't need to build it again. They can just take you get the creator fee from that, and the user gets the product that they are using. And all of this is why we tying it back to blockchain and all of that. So with integration, for example, with a 402 for payment, making these payments seamless, and also integration with the 8004, the ERC, for giving reputation to these operators and making sure a user is like getting the right operator to do their job and can leave feedback if it's not doing as intended. So having that marketplace can also expand, and will expand for sure, the whole ecosystem for Codec. And then basically now we have as many integration as possible. We have people building and selling these operators on the marketplace, to attract builders and to attract users, is for us to start showing what you can do with this. So that's the next step for us, basically, is showing what you guys can do, what someone without coding skill can build and create on top of Codec.
Yeah. Is there, one thing that our podcast attracts a lot is we do the segment where it's like, what's the top thing that someone can do on your protocol? In the past, when we've had ecosystems, ecosystem founders or ecosystem development teams have come on and said, if we could have XYZ on our ecosystem, that would be awesome. And we've been able to connect them with teams or people who can do that. For Codec, what would that be in terms of an operator or a user or someone who can contribute to the protocol in terms of a developer or robotics engineer? What's like the number one thing that you guys are looking for right now?
I think we started reaching the phase where we need to start onboarding more developers, more community developers, and start. Again, it's all going to be incentivized. It's not no free work. That's one of the things that I try to be with, basically. So that's one of the core things that we're going to start.
What would a community developer do?
And for this, what basically the use case or for us, or what can they do, is add in more integration to hardware, so they can build connectors that connect different types of hardware to the SDKs. Add in more protocol integration, so they can call APIs. They can call the operator is able to call APIs and all. Other things they can do is basically fixing bugs, watching what other issues are there, and they can fix them. So this is, our team is already doing that, but onboarding a community to start doing this will have an exponential growth for the whole product and protocol.
And this is all happening open source?
Of course, yes. That's one of the things that I think being open source.
Was that like a non-negotiable for your team?
Yes. This is completely open source. Someone can just go and fork Codec and do whatever they want with it. But our goal is to we are the one running it. This is where you get the best support, the best infrastructure to run this operators, and that's what we're selling basically. There is a lot of success stories with open source project that they are selling a service. The biggest inspiration for me was it's called a software called PostHug. PostHug is an analytics software. It's a completely open source software. There is nothing that is behind doors. Anyone can go and install it and manage it themselves, but users choose to buy the managed service and pay for that, because they don't care about hosting the whole platform. They just need the product running. So one of the main thing that we are focusing on right now is onboarding as many developers as possible. And I don't think that will be hard for us, because it has been shaped to make development life easier. So when anyone goes and look what tools should I use to start building my robotic project, there will be Codec is going to be the first one. That's our goal.
Yeah, Mo, I think you're clearly very passionate about this. You know, this entire conversation, I've just been geeking you out about robotics. I don't know much about this space, to be honest. The earliest memories I have of me doing robotic stuff is like in college when I played around with an Arduino, or I built like a mechanical arm. That was like one of our workshops. What's your number one advice to anyone sort of coming into the robotics space right now? Doesn't have to be robotics x crypto. We'll talk about that in a minute, but like robotics in general.
The best thing is always build and let it fail and then build again, and that's it. What you are doing is the right path, basically. Experimenting, finding what works, finding what doesn't work, and that's try to build something. That's it.
Mo, one thing that I think is exceptionally crazy is how fast this entire robotics industry is sort of moving. What do you track that sort of stuff on a very close daily basis?
Yeah, so even for us as a team, we were not expecting things to move this fast.
Really?
A few days ago with the Neo release, it transitioned from this is something going to happen to this is something happening.
That's house help. Well, the
Correct.
video.
Yes, exactly. So right now it's not a future. It's something that is happening today and right now. We can say people have robots in their house. It's gonna be soon similar to how everyone having iPhone and phones in their pockets. Robots are gonna be similar to that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think Mo, this has been an awesome conversation. Last question to you: what's the number one advice that you have for someone who's looking at the robotics space within crypto? Like, how do they get a sense for the team, or how do they? You know, a lot of people are just not techies. Like, how do they prove that this team is a legit team? Like, what is the indicators that you would advise them to look at or sort of understand before getting deeper into robotics x crypto?
Honestly, I don't think I can answer that question. I will answer in general, like in terms of tech and all what's. And this is okay. So for us, why Codec is being open source is not just it's not just for growing the community and that is just to show people this is our code, this is what we're doing. It's another level of trust. If someone can see what you're actually coding or what your code does, it's another level of trust.
Yes.
So that's one thing that users can check and go and see, are these people actually legit or not legit? So this is the part that I can comment on.
Got it. All right. It's been an awesome conversation, Mo. Thanks so much for coming on the pod. It's
Thank
been
you,
great.
guys.
I can't wait to cover you guys more because I feel like with all that we're seeing with robotics and crypto, this is just an emerging field, and I'm very excited to have you on now, and we'll have you on in the future as well. Thanks so much for coming all this way and recording with me.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
All
Thank you.
right.
Bye.